Hey, I'm Jay Hanson.
And I'm Ann Bosarge.
And we work together on staff at a church in Brunswick, Georgia, but we also work together on your conference Office of Congregational Development.
And it's in that capacity that we're going to be working with you guys and helping you walk through this time. We are so excited that you guys have made this decision, that you guys are seeking God's will, and that you really desire to be unified in this and walking this out in the way that He is calling you to do. So congratulations on this new initiative that you guys are undertaking.
So taking a step of faith to launch a new campus is an exciting time, but it can also be scary. I know full well what that's like. I've been a part of launching churches and launching campuses, and I've also been the person that was being launched out. And so I know that the emotions can be high and low, and it can be a very scary time.
You know, emotions are great and they're powerful motivators, but sometimes they can actually betray us and get us a little off track. And so what we want to do is make sure that our emotions are grounded in fact and reality. So that's where we're going to start.
Yeah, so looking at some facts, okay? This first little slide that you're going to see is a graph of Valdosta First Methodist worship attendance for like the last 10 or 11 years. And you can see it's strong and healthy. It's moving in the right direction. You've had some ups and downs, but fairly flat for that. So I want to show you something. This next slide is the average worship attendance of all the churches in Glenn County where we live, okay? So take a look at this slide and see if you notice anything. You probably won't really notice anything unusual about it. They're pretty level, pretty flat, maybe trending down just a little bit. When you look at those, you don't see anything that makes you go, what happened here or what was going on? It just seems like sort of a normal trajectory. Okay. Now this next slide is going to show you the cumulative average worship of all the churches put together in Glenn County, okay, over that same time period. Okay, so take a look at that slide. Anything jump out at you? You're probably going to ask two questions. One is, what happened in 2004 because all of a sudden the trajectory changed? Well, that's when the churches in this area launched the chapel where Ann and I work. And it changed the whole landscape in our community, although it didn't impact any of the other churches there. You'll also see in 2009 a little dip. That's when a church closed there that closed. This next slide shows you a slide that I think is going to really help you be excited about what you're doing, okay? It shows a graph, and the bottom graph is what the average worship attendance would have been for all the Methodist churches in Glenn County had our conference not started a new church. And the line going up is the reality of what did happen when we did launch a new church. So that doesn't guarantee that that's what's going to happen in Valdosta, but it shows it's possible, and it is actually probable. So it gives you some hope when you look at those facts.
So with that in mind, we want to share two pieces of information with you guys. The first one is really key. It's that attitude is everything. It is so important during this time. Did you guys know that your attitude, our attitudes, are actually witnesses to the world? The way that we interact with each other, the way that we lead each other through this time, especially in times of transition, really is able to reveal the gospel of Christ to other people in the world. And here's the thing, during times of stress, we all mess up from time to time, and stress can kind of pull us off track. But here's what we encourage you guys to do, is to commit to being unoffendable during this time, to choose not to be offended when someone has a misstep or makes a mistake. But you guys give each other the benefit of the doubt, because attitude is everything.
Yeah, attitude is everything. And the second thing I would say during this transition period is that planning is essential. And we are going to be working with your leadership team to help y'all sort of strategically and intentionally plan through this process. I put it to you in real simple sort of business terms that this is what we're going to do, okay? We want to define our current reality. We want to look at the brutal facts and figure out, where we are. And then we want to look at our desired destination, where we want to end up, and then the steps that we need to take to move from our current reality to our desired destination.
In other words, this is really who we are right now and who God is calling us to become through this process.
Yeah. And so how do we become receptive and responsive to God moving us from here to here? And the process that Ann and I are going to work with you on basically is going to go something like this. We'll start with this sort of who you are. You could call this your vision or your goals. I really think of it more as your passions. So you have your passion areas here, and then over here you have your gifts or your resources or your talents, your strengths, if you would, what you care about, what you're good at. And then this circle here is your context. And your context are your opportunities that you have. And what we're looking to discern is this spot right here, that's right in the crosshairs, right in the center of your passions, your gift, and your context. And we're looking forward to helping you find this so you can become that.
So this is going to be such an exciting time, and we are looking forward to working with you guys on some strategic planning to help you guys figure out who God is calling you to become through this process.